I think it's important that we begin to understand that the world is ours. And not in the sense that it's our physical possession and that everything in the world belongs to us, but rather just in the understanding that you have the capability of achieving anything. You have the capability of obtaining anything that you actually desire. But I think in understanding that, it's important to understand truly what you want. And the truth of the matter is that I don't think a lot of the material possessions, a lot of the things of the physical world that we say that we want are truly what we want. Because, we could say that we want the car, we could say that we want the house, we could say that we want to travel, all of these things. But if you look at it, if you take away any personal connection, any emotion related to these things, then a car is just a piece of metal. A house is just a wood or brick or some other material. So it's not truly about those things that we want. It's not truly about the car. It's not truly about the house. It's not about owning it physically. But rather, it's about the feeling that we substantiate through having those things. It's about the feeling of maybe excitement that you'd have with the car. It's the feeling of peace and stability that you'd have with the house. It's not about the car and it's not about the house itself. It's about what it would give to you internally. But I think it's so important to recognize that those emotions, those feelings, those internal experiences are things that we can give to ourselves at any point in time. They don't need to be a result of obtaining it physically first. And I think that once you start to understand that, and once you begin to understand the fact that you could substantiate any inner emotion, any internal emotion at any point in time, then you truly begin to see that you can truly give yourself anything at any point in time. It's not necessary that you have the car before you substantiate the feeling of having it. It's not before you have the house that you substantiate the feeling of having the house. It's not before you get the job that you substantiate the feeling of having the job. And I think a big part of it is substantiating that feeling first. And in that way, that's when we almost align ourselves internally with having those things. And once you're aligned internally with something, it's just only a matter of time before you obtain it in a physical sense. But all of it is about understanding that the physical world is not important. Well, not that it's not important, but that it's not all that there is. And that in putting all of your importance and putting all of your effort onto simply what's physical, then I think you're missing out on a big part of truly what you want. Because like I said, in let's say a circumstance where you could get the car that you wanted, you could get the house that you wanted, but then you feel exactly the same way that you do now, would you still truly want that thing? It's about recognizing that you have the ability to substantiate those emotions and those internal experiences right now. And you may think it's difficult, you may think it's not something easy to do, but you do it all the time already. Whenever you imagine some conversation, some argument, some scenario that never happened, and you feel a certain way because of that imagination, because of those thoughts that you implanted, that's the same thing, except you're not using it in a conscious sense. You're substantiating negativity, you're substantiating hate, you're substantiating anxiety, you're substantiating worry inside and internally rather than substantiating what you truly want. So instead of focusing on what we're running away from, why don't we focus on what we're running towards? Why don't we focus on internally substantiating the feelings of gratitude, the feelings of peace, the feelings of stability that we'd have from all the desires that we want. And once we do that, and once we really start to understand that, once you give yourself those things internally, then it's no longer up to you to obtain it externally. Then you truly begin to be able to have everything of the world. Because I brought this up on so many occasions, but we can't control the outside world. We can't control the external. Even something as simple as adding another hair to my head is not something I can do. It's not up for me to do. It's up for God to do. So in recognizing the lack of control that we have, it's about recognizing that the only thing that you can control is yourself internally. So then if you substantiate that emotion, if you substantiate that feeling and almost relax into that feeling, make it a new normal for yourself, then that's the work that we need to do. And then having faith that God will continue that work in the external world, then that's all you really need to do. But it's not about recognizing, okay, if I just give myself the feeling, then, I need to do anything, it'll come to me, because that's not how it works. But it's about recognizing that if you're truly substantiating those emotions, those feelings, and you truly are substantiating a lifestyle and a way of seeing the world as if you were in your ideal position, if you were your ideal self, then you'd also just naturally, you'd begin to flow that way as well. And the way that that person, that best version of yourself living your best life flows is differently from how you flow. They do things that you don't currently do. They wouldn't do things that you currently do. They'd maybe put an effort in this way. They'd maybe put an effort in that way. But the best part is that truthfully, I think a majority of us, our ideal selves, our best selves, it's not something that ever feels like effort. It's something that feels natural. The same way that we can identify with certain actions that we take, like taking a shower every day or brushing our teeth. It's that same way, but maybe with some of the action that we want to take. So by substantiating those emotions, by substantiating those feelings for ourselves in the present moment, and almost allowing yourself to become that person, allowing that to become your normal, then almost that emotion carries you. The emotion carries your action, it carries your subconscious mind to the point that you're flowing in that direction naturally. To the point that the things that you thought would require effort in the past are now effortless. To the point that when you thought, oh, this is so different, putting that ideal life on a pedestal is something that you begin to experience in your day-to-day life. But the craziest part is that you experience it without having anything physically. You experience it without any physical change. But once you almost let go of the importance, when you let go of the significance of the physical world, and rather you put it on the spiritual and on the mental, then that's when you begin to have things in the physical world. That's when God's will begins to be done in your life, and that's when everything that God wants you to have, you will have. So it's just about recognizing the amount of power that we have internally. That we have right now the ability to give ourselves whatever we truly want internally. And to say that is just to say that the world is already yours. Everything in your life that you could want is something that you could substantiate for yourself right now. It doesn't require any point in time. It doesn't require any waiting. It doesn't require anything. Those feelings are things that you could substantiate for yourself in the present moment right now. You could substantiate that flow. You could substantiate that state of mind, that way of looking at the world. And once you substantiate that for yourself, well, who's to say that you don't have the thing? Once you're in alignment with whatever it is that you want, who's to say that you don't have it? Because like I said, that once you give it to yourself internally, once you give it to yourself spiritually, mentally, then it's only a matter of time before you have it physically. The Bible verse I have for this video is taken from Matthew 21, verse 22. And it says, if you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer. So it's about substantiating those emotions for ourselves and asking God to let His will be done throughout your life. Asking God for whatever it is that you truly want. And if you truly believe that you already have it, and you do that by substantiating that emotion, by substantiating that feeling internally, by expressing that gratitude, by experiencing that gratitude, then you already have it. You already have everything that you could ever want. You already have everything you could ever ask for. So it's about recognizing it. I hope you took something from this video, and thank you for watching.